Hello everyone. So the trade book that I chose revolved around the topic density. The lesson plan that I went with was Will It Sink or Will It Float by Christine Ann Royce. In this lesson plan, there were two different lesson plans for two different grade levels. There was K through 2nd and 3rd through 5th, and the lesson that I chose to go with was the K through 2nd. Each lesson revolved around a book. So the book that my lesson revolved around was What Floats in a Moat by Lean Berry, and this book was for the grade levels K through 4th. This book is about two young boys who are attempting to deliver barrels of buttermilk to the queen, and then them kind of having a situation where they want to know what will float in a moat, and that kind of leads us into our lesson plan. So for the lesson plan, the purpose is for students to predict, observe, and test. The students will also develop a list of characteristics for objects that floated in water and the objects that sink in the water. So for the engaging part of this lesson is to show the cover of the book, What Floats in a Moat, and to kind of have the class just make predictions right off the bat of what they think will float in the moat or what will sink. They don't know that yet, so they make a list, and reading more into the story, this teacher will ask questions that revolve around the topic, or asking what's a problem that Archie and Skinny are having and what must they do to overcome it. After reading the story, the students will discuss, and they will already have an idea of what will sink or what will float, and they'll have to explain why they think that certain object will float or sink. For the exploring part, the students will go back and look at that list that they created in the engaging part and test the objects in a tub of water. And the teacher will first model how to do that. For the explaining portion of this lesson, students will find that some objects do not float and some do not sink, and when they are explaining, they have to explain why they think that the purpose of why it sunk or why it floated. They have to explain that in the worksheet that is provided in this lesson. For the elaborate part, the students have the opportunity to test the objects and kind of so they would separate them into two different categories, the ones that floated and the ones that sunk, and kind of make observation about the two piles and see what's different from the ones that floated to the ones that sunk, and um, kind of think about the weight of the objects, if that played a factor in the sinking or floating portion. For the evaluation, students have had a chance to discuss the items they tested. They'll kind of go back, and in the worksheet there's a portion where it says that they predicted one would flow or something would sink, and they go back on that, kind of like a hypothesis, and just see if their hypothesis or educated guess was correct or if it was wrong and why it was wrong. Um, I feel like this lesson plan is perfect for me to use in a classroom because it's very hands-on, which is something that I like to do in a classroom, and um, it's a fun way of getting to learn about density. And yeah, thank you.